Testing, testing. I don't think get the microphone on here. There. Why I don't want high density. I think it's corruption. I really think high density dwelling in this day and age with our population going up. But I look at the planet Earth, it's a beautiful place. Smaller communities are grassroots. Education can be done small scale. Institutionalized governments and systems are corrupt. As far as I'm concerned, they're useless. They're boxes. People burn out. Health is not in high density. There's all sorts of infrastructure if we need to get somebody into major medical problems. But I don't believe density is going to prevent major medical problems. Somebody said to me once, "What are you doing out here? There's wildlife around here." As dangerous as traffic, drug addiction, and firearms. It's just creating more crime. I don't get the politicians that want density. I see in Australia, you're looking at low density, the Prime Minister of the Labour Party. You can live anywhere in Australia with good design that's efficient. You could live in the outback or the higher heat regions with affordable modular dwellings. It makes good capital. It's honest, spread out. I don't like being too close to my neighbor. I'm too noisy. I'm a musician and I love the arts. Just create the infrastructure, airports, flying people around. There's all sorts of ways we can connect communities. All this stuff against connection. Bus routes. I was wondering, I was up in Alberta. They took out bus routes and now they're starting to put them back in. And they're not so high density. And Ontario is a big province. Why would we go high density? The housing prices are going up. They build them in these developments, okay? Even condominiums and stuff. They start flipping them. There's no way we can keep the price down. So I talked to a woman on here, discussed some common sense. She's building tiny house communities, less density. Why? She's a homeowner. She doesn't want her house or equity to go poosh. And that's what's happening all over the world. It's full of money laundering and profiteering. It's corruption. High density. I don't even like living in apartments, all right, but a modular home with your own washer, dryer, instead of going all the way downstairs and using a machine. Machines are good, but people don't always get along. I don't hate people, but I have to keep distance on negative people because the world's got a major trauma called the collective, and anger, and television, and bad garbage stories. I don't watch that stuff. I minimalize. Why would I want to live in big cities? I love art. I love culture. I love going to a theater. But I have no use living so close to my neighbor. I'm a man that believes in keeping animals. I love horses. I love dogs, cats. There's restriction on those things. Limits. because they're owned by somebody else. Now, I'll go back to a communist comment by Chairman Mao. The landlord classes, the termites, the parasites that live on the backs of the individual. In a capitalist system, the ownership of property is number one. That's what capitalism means, the means of production and ownership of your land, space, and property. You know, Henry David Thoreau, Walt Whitman, grassroots economy. You're going to start getting into green scam. They've been mind hacking for years. Green scam. Living rural is, why do we have cities in Ontario that are so, because they're close to the US border? Well, what happened to the shipping? It's gone. There's nothing, just tourism. And high density tourism is a disaster. This town is overpriced. I have to outsource everything here. Why would I support this? I don't see it. I am against high density, and Australia is talking about it, the Labour Party, and I agree with them. But there's one fighting. Listen, Helen Edwards is an Australian. She's trying to get in the parliament. And she had a lot of documents on all the off-booking and money laundering throughout the Australian market. And that was CIA documents. Eric, who is supporting high density build up? Now, Jane Jacobs talked about communities building up for cities, but she wrote books on the development of the life and death of cities. If cities were designed efficiently, there's walking paths, noise reduction, less traffic. You could build a community in a circle and people could walk in or take transit in. Park the cars out. I saw a city in the United States built that way. No, that's efficiency. But high density is crazy. And look at how big this planet is. Now we can build modular systems that are very efficient, clean, affordable. And when people own property, they look after property. When people own property, they have gardens and they grow food. Oh, that's the problem. The attachments. The economy is over the top. It's on a doom. I read The End of Growth. You need to read it. Let's talk about the golden age that could come. And it would end all this rubbish. Small, micromanaged rural communities. Food shares. 10 acres is enough. A farm could run that way. You get it off-source with a balance of lifestyle. A little bit of market sharing. My father was 1903. He hated London. So they left in 1903. His parents came to Canada. They lived on market gardens in this area. It was not a real high density city. It is now. They're building skyscrapers. But then they have limits to height. And like this place I don't like. Why? I got to pay high Wi-Fi because I'm sharing cross signal with other Wi-Fi systems. Do you get this? I got a pod there because the energy just goes whoosh. I don't want high density. I've been in low density and it's better. You know, you can sustain your Wi-Fi, your signal, your everything. I'd live in an RV. I'd live anywhere except the city. I like living rural. I love quiet. I'm not much of a man that likes noise. You know, I think some people like noise. They're conditioned to it. This watch has got a decibel meter on it. And I watch the decibels when I'm getting into city traffic. It's horrible. It's up to 110. And then you got crime, and then you're getting sirens, and that's 150. That's sickness, mental health problems. Quieter spaces, less development, less traffic. There's no need to live in a city. Absolutely no need in a socialized system or political system that's fair, that's capitalistic, and people owning the means of production and working from home and developing programs and being, what do we call them? Sole traders in Australia. In Canada, we call them entrepreneurs. Rural development is possible. The COVID showed us that. The COVID was a teacher that we have to spread out a little. But we come together in communities. You know, and on a farm, they say a lot of rubbish about farm communities and rural development. Children get a good life on a farm. They go to 4-H programs. There's all sorts of churches and synagogues and everywhere where there's family tradition, but not in high density. Never. I would never live in high density. I like towns that have less box stores. I've seen the model work. I was out in Salt Spring Island. They don't have any box stores. Maybe that's the problem. There's some things you could have. Like they don't have Tim Hortons. They're just open all night long. So, you know, if anybody's homeless out there, you sleep in the woods, carry a tent. But here, this is terrible. This is all, and things close up early. Why would we want cities? Why would we want cities? As far as environmentalism goes, I don't think there's any argument with it. There's many things that are causing our environmental problem. Plant-based diet is one solution to the problem. Growing food, producing food, being independent, and no attachments. That's the way they want you. The global crashing economy of today. They want you attached to everything. You can see it. Look at Walmart. They're getting a lot of customers are getting to not want them because of their security measures. These big stores are just robotic. And I don't like Walmart. I don't like it. I like going to mom and pop. Why would we want to? We could build houses all over Australia. Because I'm going back to Australia. Because you got a Labour Party there. And I don't know. You're always talking. Here, there's no talking. I like to discuss rural development. I know people buy chalets up here. They're massive. But they're overpriced. They're beautiful places. And I know they worry about the housing market with the libertarian house flipping that's going on all over the world. It's wherever you go, high density will raise the prices. Is this an opinion? I think I'm being very factual. I don't get into opinions. Opinion talk is everywhere. It's on social media, it's on major television, major political rants that are pocket lined. Pocket line trash about capitalism, the free market system that's destroying our economy. The End of Growth was the book that I believe I see this woman, she's in the United States on here. She's like me. Minimalize, go off grid, and buy gold and silver. Build your assets in, micromanage it, and build gold and silver and support nearby communities. Here's the typical thing out in Alberta. City wave, even in Ontario. Country wave, hi. Why would we want to live with this negativity of anger all the time? Around here, this town was quieter. They built a massive opening here of traffic. It's just dreadful. Somebody fought more traffic flow. I hate it. It takes me 5 to 15 minutes to cross the lights because they're geared for traffic. Beat me up, Scotty. I just don't like traffic. I like to cross the road like the chickens can. I like freedom. There's no freedom in cities. And what do you go out? You go out now and everybody's on their freaking phone. You know nobody to talk to. So get used to solitude. We've created a carry-all community of devices where everybody's connected to who the hell knows who. I sit in bars and I say, hey, guy, there's girls here. I'm talking to this girl. That's a Nigerian scammer. Can't you tell? Fact or fiction? I pick them out like a corker. So your sex life's just gone down the hill, young fella. And you're sitting on the phone. I took a picture in a bar once. We used to talk. We'd go on a date. She'd look at me, and I'd look at her, and I could read her mind. I wasn't texting her. I could tell that she was a real woman. And I could tell if she liked me or not, because she'd give me little subtle facial hints. She wasn't a robot. And it gives you a bit of space. There's no space with computer phones everywhere and people in massive dwellings in society. It's nice to come into watch a concert or something, but why would I live that way? I've lived in the rural areas. I like farm work, and it pays money. Low density, 100%. Shut up, anybody that talks about high density. I got a fact. Shut up. That's my giggle, and I think you'll agree with me. Nobody wants to live like that anymore.